Kevin Mooney, Assistant Director of Cash Management at Cornell University. So I've been in the Treasurer's Office for about 5.5 years, and that whole time has been spent doing many things. Among them is PCI compliance, or really harvesting all of the PCI compliance information from our merchants. I've also been the liaison, if you will, between our merchants and the credit card processors. So when it comes to acquiring the right solutions, whether it be in person or e-commerce or mail order, phone order, they would usually come to me in the office, and then I would go out to our processors to see, what they have available that would best meet their needs. For years, we Treasury, because of all of the requirements we had in terms of completing bid applications and ordering devices and helping research transactions, there was a bottleneck on our side, and we admit that. And there were times where we were not providing the a level of service that we thought was exempt. And really, based on our experience, we were finding that we were limited, really, as far as the devices we could offer. Our resources were very tight here in Treasury, so we couldn't really dedicate a whole lot to researching new solutions. And so when we were in that situation, we realized that it was time to reach out and find a partner that could help us, with that, and really help us find the best possible solution out there for each and every one of our merchants on campus.
So my name's Katie Todd, for those of you that do not already know me. I have been in the payments industry for, maybe about just almost 10 years now, a little under 10 years. And the majority of that was spent at a large university, managing all of the PCI compliance and merchant services for the entire university and the medical center that they had there. When you're the only person working on all of those merchant related needs, no one else around you and the university really understands what that entails necessarily. So I personally was desperate to get outside help in to help out with everything there. It was exhausting, again, just as a single person trying to manage the entire merchant relationship. That's working with vendors, all of the merchants, and they had about over 300 merchant accounts. So managing all of that combined with the medical center was again quite exhausting.
Well, name is Jason Barnes, Western Michigan University. Title is Director of Advancement Services, working in the Office of University Advancement. And what my group provides is the hardware, data, software, and analysis for all of the fundraising efforts. So we are chiefly concerned with how we can bring in funds through as many different vehicles as possible. I think really about the PCI compliance in general. I've got individuals who ask me, who have said, and this has been multiple different occasions, multiple different projects, why does Western Michigan University care so much about PCI compliance? And they will cite examples of when I worked at X university or when I worked at Y university, we just did this thing. And the answer to that is because we care about our constituents. We care about our donors' identity as well as their funds. And just like a relationship between a family member or a friend of mine, I don't want to put them at any risk that I don't have to. It's hurdle. So then going to leadership and explaining to them, why do we need this thing? Why is PCI compliance important? That was the next hurdle. All of those things are fairly straightforward once you understand why we really care to not put our cardholder data at risk or our institution at risk, the reputation of our institution. All of those things, those arguments became very clear to leadership once explained.
We did back in 2014. We were looking at that time for point-to-point encryption merchants, and there wasn't very many of them back then, but we knew that it would greatly reduce our PCI scope. So that was the focus. Ideally, we would be P2PE wherever it's possible. We would not just allow a non-P2PE validated solution.
Hi, my name is Dawn McAdams-Mole. I'm a solutions advisor at Aero Payments. Before joining Aero Payments, I was the director of PCI compliance at the University of Pennsylvania for about 11 years. When I was at the university handling the merchant accounts and solutions on my own, I felt as though I couldn't get a lot of work done in a timely manner. I had to rely on just making sure that I made my priorities for those who came first or those who needed solutions quick and fast, and a lot of things got put on the back burner. I was offering very limited solutions to the schools and centers at the university. We, had very limited contracts with payment gateways, as well as our merchant bank. We didn't have very many terminals to choose from. So those terminals that I would hand out would be, analog, dial-out terminals. After I joined Aero Payments, I found that there were so many other solutions that would be P2PE, dashboards that were so much easier to use for reporting and statements. You didn't have to log into like 10 different portals just to do a reconciliation. You could go into one specific solution and get all the information you needed. It really did open my eyes to like solutions that could help, and that could have helped me for the last 11 years, as well as the departments. It would make a lot of lives easier in the end.
Yeah, take time and do your research, but also rely on the partners and experts that are out there. There are people who've done this work before, and not every vendor is the same, but get down to brass tacks and see what they can really do for you, and know what you need done.
I think we were in a situation where we needed to move quickly. So when you look at the time of putting out, let's say, even if we were able, given the time that we're in right now, where a lot of companies aren't hiring at this particular moment, so it would have been a struggle for us to even hire an employee if we wanted to, given the situation. But if we were, then we would have to put together a job description, put it out, recruit, interview, hire, train, and now you're 12 months out before they're finally up and running, to be able to adequately handle a lot of the PCI compliance and the merchant services that we provide to people all across campus. So by going outside, now we're able to immediately acquire a significant level of knowledge that we can apply right away and help our merchants tomorrow with a lot of great solutions and a lot of good advice and really terrific guidance as far as completing the SAQ on an annual basis, and pretty much any other question that our merchants may have can be answered right away. And it's also important to note that knowledge transfer would then be minimal on our end because people come and go. So, no one stays in any one place forever. So whatever happens on our end in terms of turnover, we know that Arrow has the information, will always have that information handy, and therefore there's much less work that we have to do on our side to get people up to speed. They're really happy to have someone there for them, whether it's answering an email or going through a phone call or actually walking through step by step how to pull the right report that they need, or even how to set up a hosted payment page that really helps consolidate all of their e-commerce activity. It's been nothing but great news and great word of mouth that's going out around campus.
Yeah, relying on vendors or subject matter experts in the area is terrific. We can't know everything. We live in a specialized society. I know some things, you know some things, we come together. We know more things as a team. So relying on good partners, specifically like Aero Payments, can really help pave the way to success. It shortens your need to know everything and educate yourself, and can really accelerate a project timeline, because you're relying on those people who have built the wheel before, who have climbed Mount Everest before, and can guide you on that path, coach you on that path.
So we have heard everything from, let's say, the more quiet sigh of relief to the more louder, exuberant cries of joy. So there's it runs the gamut as far as what our merchants have experienced. We helped a lot of merchants clear some roadblocks and we didn't know because they had never reached out, but they were struggling with, perhaps they had a particular website that had a very clunky payment processing system. So they had to do a lot of reconciliation on the back end, and maybe they just thought that that's just how it was. I don't even want to think about going back at this point. But I think if we had to go back and start managing a lot of the PCI compliance and the payment processing procedures on our own, what that would mean for us would be less room for innovation, less room to take on other projects. I think we would not be as flexible as we are right now. So that would be something that anyone would have to prepare for if they're looking to resume handling all of this activity in-house. They would really have to plan on dedicating a lot of resources to that effort, resources that otherwise would have gone to perhaps taking on a new project or looking at more ways to provide value to the university.